Hello, everybody. Thanks for watching. What do you say, gang? It's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. This is in case you missed it. Please subscribe, like, share if you haven't done so. And if you already are a subscriber, hit that notification bell so you'll know when we're on. It is Tuesday, the 8th of February, and these are some stories that need some more views, if you will, some more exposure, some things that you might have missed. And tomorrow night, we're going to have Apollo join us, our old friend Apollo, good man, going to be on the show tomorrow night. And then Thursday night, we'll be doing the People's Platform where you can come on and ask questions or talk about what's on your mind. But let's get into in case you missed it. Starting out with something we've been talking about for a couple of years now, the possibility of civil war and the possibility that this is not going to be a race war. This is going to be an ideological war. Not that race won't play into it, but this is going to be, well, let's just listen to a Republican congressman from Illinois. He's been censored, Adam Kinsinger. He's been censored 13 times by Congress, by the Republicans in Congress, his fellow Republicans, for trying to tell the truth about what happened on January 6th.
As you heard and as you know, at least right now, there are a few Republicans, very few, like Senator Romney, speaking up. But you say this is about the 13th time you've been censured. Why do you still want to be a member of a party that seemingly all the time now rejects you and rejects the values you uphold?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm not sure I particularly want to be a member, but I believe, in what the Republican Party used to stand for. And I believe that the Republican Party, it's going to be around for a while. It plays a very important role, obviously, in politics, and very well may take the majority. They deserve to have the truth told to them. And right now, there's just a few of us willing to tell the base voters the truth. There's a lot of people hiding in the sand because the truth is hard and it makes their life a little uncomfortable. I think we have to fight for the soul of not just the party, but the country. We are in a real dire moment, Wolf. And I think if we don't wake up and recognize that this is more than just performance art, when we lie, when we tell people elections were stolen, this actually goes to the survival of this country in the form we know it. It's that serious. It's worth fighting for. But I tell you, I do ask myself that question every day.
It's a legitimate question. The RNC, as you know, is also trying to do some damage control after calling the January 6th insurrection. They called it legitimate political discourse in a formal public statement at their big meeting out in Utah. But watch just part of this new video just released by the U.S. Justice Department from that day. And I need to warn our viewers that this language is very disturbing.
If Pence came, we're going to drag motherfuckers through the streets. You fucking politicians are going to get fucking dragged through the streets. Yeah, because we're not going to have our fucking shit stolen. Because it's the second fucking revolution. We're here to take it back from you.
Cut that freaking head off.
Cut their head off.
How dangerous is it, Congressman, for the Republican?
You heard the words. Of course, go to CNN and watch the remainder of the interview if you so desire. But we are in a precarious situation within our country, and it's not something to stick your head in the sand. The Republican representative mentioned how about telling the truth. And oftentimes on this show, I've talked about the truth doesn't make you any money. Okay. The truth is hard. The truth needs to be told. And that's one of the things that we try to do on this show. So that's our first, in case you missed it. And a lot of people are ignorant. They think wars just start. They brew. And then something happens that kicks things off. We are at war. It's just a cold war. It's not a shooting war at the moment. but there are more than enough ready for it to be a shooting war. And those of us that want to stop it, we need to start speaking up. Our second story is about the killing of Amir Lock. We broke this the other day. 22-year-old young man in Minneapolis, a no-knock raid. The no-knock warrant, oddly enough, signed by the judge in the George Floyd trial.
Of the raid the next day that shows a SWAT team wearing gloves and full tactical gear use a key to enter his cousin's apartment. Within seconds, they find and shoot Lock, who is not a suspect in their warrant. He's asleep on the couch. In the 14 seconds of footage, an officer is seen kicking the couch where Lock was laying on that couch, wrapped in a blanket, holding a gun he was licensed to carry. He appears to be woken up by the officers. At a news conference Thursday, Minneapolis interim city police chief Amelia Huffman said the officer who shot Lock saw the barrel of his gun emerging from the blanket and pointed in the officer's direction. Her comment outraged longtime police accountability activist, attorney Nakima Levy-Armstrong, co-chair of the city's working group on community safety, who interrupted the news conference to speak out.
Not a threat. I don't have a gun. Okay? Don't treat me like I'm a threat. This is what I would call the anatomy of a cover-up. This is unacceptable. I'm sorry, it is. When I agreed to work with you on the work group, we talked about the importance of transparency and accountability. And here, what we are seeing is business as usual. And you know this, Amelia.
That's from the website Democracy Now. WCCO, CBS out of Minnesota with the footage. A troubling situation. And Minneapolis has had more than their share of troubling situations. We're going to see what we saw with Breonna Taylor, with George Floyd, with Ahmaud Arbery, with Ahmaud Arbery. The same thing here with Amir Lock. They're going to, again, he was not part of a warrant. He was not wanted for anything. He was asleep, wrapped in a blanket and sleeping with his gun, as many people do in the cities. As well as in the country for that matter. But it's going to be a tarnishing of the reputation to try to justify. And it's the same modus operandi that's been used time and time again. Anytime somebody's a victim of police brutality, the first thing that happens is everybody tries to paint them in the worst possible light to justify them being murdered. Our next, in case you missed it, comes from Canada.
Justin Trudeau has again called for truckers' protests to end. The demonstrations have caused major disruption for nearly 2 weeks now. A large group of motorized protesters have rolled into several cities under the banner of Freedom Convoy 2022. They've besieged the capital's border bridge with the United States. The protesters say they won't leave until all vaccine mandates and other COVID restrictions are lifted. They're calling for the removal of Justin Trudeau's government as well. Canada's Parliament has held an emergency session to address the trucking blockade.
What is problematic, Mr. Speaker, however, is when speech, and I think it's objectively the case that Canada's approach when it comes to vaccine mandates.
Well, with the convoy, police in Canada's capital, Ottawa, are cracking down on fuel and funding for the widespread protests against vaccine mandates that have swept the country. Demonstrators have shut down downtown Ottawa for over a week now.
And it's not just Canada, Norway, New Zealand, other areas, and of course in France, in Europe, there have been protests ongoing over this situation. I don't know. The idea that people will prefer money over their health is troubling, to say the least. Okay.
Has been on
Our next, in case you missed it, it's what's going on in the Ukraine, what's going on with Russia, and the fact that the United States, it seems, may stand alone in trying to help Ukraine.
the tenterhooks. And this former Soviet nation is aware that if alone, it holds no chance against Russia, which is why it is cozying up with the NATO. But at a time when Russian troops and their allies have surrounded Ukraine, NATO has made a startling comment that it is going to put Kiev on pins and needles. NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg has said that in case Russia invades Ukraine, the bloc has no plans of deploying combat troops. Listening.
So basically, what they're saying is, Russia, you can go ahead and invade the Ukraine, and NATO's not going to stop you. This again, how does this impact us? How does this potentially impact us? President Biden of the United States has threatened to cut down or to shut down the major pipeline going into Russia. Russia's threatened to shut down the major gas line going into Europe. The United States has said we can make up the energy that Europe loses if Russia does this. That increases our energy prices here in America. So Chris and I talked about this 2 weeks ago. It's all about money. Everything is about money. It's all about money. All of it. All of it's about money. Everything we've talked about is about money in some way, shape, or form. Finally, our last, in case you missed it, it's SPOOS. It's sports and news. When the sports story crosses over into news, and it is Alvin Kamara.
Alvin Kamara for allegedly attacking somebody at a nightclub on the Strip.
Police arrested Alvin Kamara again after the Pro Bowl game at Allegiant Sunday. Kamara posted bond last night, no longer in custody. He is charged with battery resulting in substantial bodily harm. The charge is a felony, and Kamara could face prison time if convicted. And a court hearing for Kamara scheduled for today. That appearance was moved until March.
So now we're learning more about what led to the arrest of the New Orleans Saints star. Victoria Saha joining us now to walk us through what happened.
We're getting new information surrounding the events that took place here at Dre's nightclub leading up to Alvin Kamara's arrest. In an arrest report, Metro Police responded to Sunrise Hospital Saturday evening. The victim, Darnell Green, told police from his hospital bed that he was leaving Dre's nightclub on the Strip early Saturday morning. And as he was stepping onto the elevator with a large group next to him, a man later identified as Alvin Kamara put his hand on Green's chest, stopping him from walking onto the elevator. Green then pushed Kamara's hand off. Green tells police he was hit and kicked by multiple people, but Green was able to remember Kamara's involvement, and police say security footage supports Green's accusations. Kamara did play in the Pro Bowl on Sunday, and he was taken into custody after the game at Allegiant Stadium. He was released on a $5,000 bond and will be facing the judge on March 8th. Reporting from the Las Vegas Strip, Victoria Saha, live local now.
Okay, so basically, that cannot make the NFL happy. The NFL's not happy when any of their players get in trouble, let alone when a player is at an NFL event, such as the Pro Bowl in Las Vegas, and is arrested 15 minutes after coming off of the field and playing in an NFL event, the Pro Bowl. We'll have to see where this leads. We'll have to see where all of this leads. Again, tomorrow night, Apollo will be with us. 10:30 on Thursday. We'll have the People's Platform. You can come on and talk about what you would like to talk about, or you can come into the comments, ask me questions, things like that. And then, of course, Super Bowl is coming up, and we'll have a special American Doofus Sports edition on the Super Bowl coming up this weekend. So it's in case you missed it. It's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. It is a dark world. A lot of people aren't aware that it is a dark world. It is. Do try to be a light. Try to share love. Try to be positive, because there's too much hate, too much negativity and too much propensity to violence in our world. So I leave you with peace. I love you all. Shalom, salam, namaste, blessings in the name of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, if you're a fellow Christian. Until next time, it is the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. Love you all.